Next, we're going to move on to the next page, which is part 4, beveling the lip. So basically, we're taking it from being a squared off top lip to a rounded and smooth top lip by doing part A, which is beveling, which is shaving and molding the inside and outside of the lip edge to create a smooth curve. As far as tools, I recommend the metal rib tool to be very helpful for this step. Also for this step, the banding wheel, I know I've already talked about it, is especially helpful because you can spin the project as you're shaving down the lip. Also, as you're doing this step, I recommend using perhaps a small amount of water or slip at the very end to smooth the surface of your lip. Remember that any tiny little sand pieces or stray clay pieces, those are going to end up being fired in the kiln and they're going to harden, and then we're going to put glaze on them, which becomes like a glass. And so if you do have any tiny little bits that stick out, those little bits are going to become very, very sharp. So you really do want to make the lip as smooth as possible. So where is my smooth rib tool? I'm going to take the smooth rib tool. You can use whichever side you desire. I'm going to start with the flat side. This is a smooth rib tool, not a serrated rib tool. So as I'm doing this, it's kind of shaving down the outside edge. It helps if this is centered on the banding wheel. Mine isn't perfectly centered. Now it's a little better. A little better. So as I'm shaving the edge, it's pulling off some of the clay. I'm just going to put that to the side. Some of the clay might end up going in the cup. That's okay. It's kind of a pain to get out of the inside of the cup, but it's not the end of the world. So I'm going to keep working on this. I'm additionally going to keep working on the inside as well. It's not just smoothing out the lip, but it also kind of thins out the lip. As we remember from our analyzing cups activity, we generally like thinner lips on our cups as opposed to thicker ones. So we're not just rounding it out, but we're also kind of thinning it out. So I'm going to keep working on this. I'll show you when I'm at the finishing point. So I'm kind of choosing to bevel the inside of my cup more than the outside because you got to think about it, and you can do either one you'd like. When you're beveling your cup, you're bringing it in, right? So if you beveled the outside of it a lot, from the outside, it would almost create the impression that your cup is going inwards a little at the top, which is totally fine. But for my look for my cup, I want to keep it pretty up and down, pretty vertical. So in order to thin out and bevel the lip, I am shaving a little on the outside so it's nice and rounded and smooth, but I'm choosing to shave a lot more of the inside. So inside of it, it flares outwards to thin out the lip, but the outside stays pretty straight up. Now, there's a lot of stuff you can do with the lip. If you did want it to kind of flare outwards, kind of like this cup right here, gosh, I'm trying to get a good angle, kind of like this cup right here, you can. What you would do is you'd probably get some slip or water on your fingers and you'd spin. You'd want this centered. Again, you'd want this centered. One second. You would spin this around while you apply slow and light pressure to the inside surface, and it would slowly start taking this lip and pulling it outwards. Same thing, you could have it cup inwards by doing the opposite. Get some slip or water on your fingers and apply some pressure on the lip inwards while you spin it, and slowly it'll start cupping inwards. Again, you can't really do anything too drastic with this method as far as shaping your cup goes. You can try starting out with a different type of template that might result in a different type shape cup. Totally up to you. I'm just saying it's challenging to do much with the shape with this method, but you're welcome to give it a shot. That's all. So I'm going to keep beveling. I want this to get relatively thin at the top. I'm almost there. Once I'm done beveling it, you'll notice there's still a bunch of like scraggly type stuff. I'm going to really smooth those out. Like I said, any tiny little dust bit is going to become a major issue. So I might just get a little bit of slip on my finger and just really smooth out the entire lip inside and out. So I'm going to keep working on that. I'll show you when it's all absolutely perfect. All right, I have beveled and smoothed out the top lip so there's no rough pieces and it's a nice thin lip.